Welcome to the Adaptive Athlete Podcast, the space for conversations about adaptive athletics in the CrossFit space and beyond. I'm your host, Matt Hotho. On today's show, we're talking with Amalia Ortuño. Amalia is an adaptive athlete from Costa Rica, and she's a 5-time WheelWOD Games champion in the seated 2 division. As you'll hear in her story, Amalia grew up dancing, doing gymnastics, being a triathlete, until surgeries led to a progressive neurological disorder that left her in a wheelchair. We talk about that. We talk about her journey into adaptive fitness and her journey towards potentially the Paralympics. Check it out. Welcome back to another episode of the Adaptive Athlete Podcast. I'm here with Amalia Ortuño. Amalia, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. How was my Spanish there? I can never roll my R's, but I try.
Perfect.
Awesome. Is there a trick to rolling your R's, by the way?
No.
You just do it as a child and then you just pick it up? Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I was in Montreal this past week, and in French, they also roll their R's. And I think that's something that's just, English is really missing out.
Yes, totally.
We just overemphasize all of our R's. Okay, so I'm looking out the window on your video screen right now, and the people on podcast, or we don't do video, we just do podcasts, so they can't see this, but you're in Costa Rica, and it is beautiful where you are.
It's very green.
Yeah.
I live in a place called Santa Ana, and we have like a lot of green here. So from my windows, you can see all the trees and palms and everything.
Yeah. And the mountains, and kind of there's like mountains further in the distance, mountains beyond the mountains that are just kind of in the fog.
Volcanoes and everything. You can see all that.
That is so cool. So have you, it's about 5:30 in the evening. Have you had your training session today already?
No, today is my rest day. So
okay.
Sunday, I went to a competition today here in Costa Rica, just to see, but today is my rest day.
Okay. So you just popped in on a able-bodied comp just to kind of see what everybody's up to?
Yeah.
Good. Did you have friends competing?
Yes.
Oh, nice. And did they do good?
Yeah.
That's great. That's wonderful. Cool. So you are kind of getting ready for the WheelWOD Games, or the CrossFit Games presented by WheelWOD, that are going to be in just like 5 weeks. How is that prep going?
Very good.
Good.
I'm feeling very good. We're going to talk like later about this, but this is like my first year in about 3 years that I don't have like a surgery like recent. So I've been able like to train better and everything. So I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Wow. That's good. So have you always been athletic? Has this always been something that you've enjoyed doing?
Yes, since I was 2 years old. I started with dancing, with ballet. My mom, she's a dance teacher. So I danced a lot. Then I did gymnastics. Then I was running, then swimming, and then triathlon. So sport has been always part of my life.
Yeah. And you were doing that up until when, and then something happened.
Yeah, I was doing it until 2016. And then I was dancing one day and I had like an accident that I was like doing some turns and everything, and something like popped inside of me. So a very big pain started in my hip. So I went to the doctor and I had like some x-rays and everything. And he discovered that I had like a congenital malformation in my hips. So I needed surgery. And then I get surgery 1 week later. And that surgery got like a complication. And I started developing a neurological illness. That was like the thing that started like to develop my illness. So after,
like, your body didn't respond well to the surgery?
Yes. So I had a neurological damage in my left leg after that surgery. And then I need another surgery in my right leg. And I had another neurological damage in my right leg.
Wow.
And then I had another surgery and another neurological damage. And everything that happens in my body that my body thinks it's like invasive, I think it says, or like big.
Invasive?
Invasive.
Okay.
Yes. My body develops a neurological damage in that part. So now I have this is like a progressive disease.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have it from T8 to my feet.
Okay.
All
And
that.
T8, is that like, where is that in your abdominals?
It's like from your chest, like here,
Uh-huh.
down.
Okay. Okay. So like right below, right at your upper abdominals and then
Yes.
below. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha. And is it pain? Is it paralysis? It's not truly paralysis, is it?
It's like a lot of weakness,
Okay.
muscle atrophy. I
Mm-hmm.
don't
That's the word. Yep.
you lose like movement in your articulations. It's like stiff,
Mm-hmm.
and then a lot of pain. And it also affects my it's called autonomic, like
Oh, yeah.
inner organs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
Mm.
all about that.
Okay. So if it weren't for you being a wheelchair user, in some ways, this would be almost an invisible disability.
Yes, let's say I use like an external orthesis too,
Mm-hmm.
because I have like my body starts losing like the strength and everything. So my knees are like rotated, like,
Mm.
the position of my legs is not like normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I need like orthesis, like to keep them like straight and like to help also with the pain.
Yeah.
But yes, it's not like I don't have like an amputation, let's say, or something like that. So
Yeah. Or like a clear paralysis in some ways, right? Like
yes,
you could move your legs a little bit, but it would be painful and
yeah, my
whatnot.
left leg is more compromised
Mm-hmm.
than my right leg. So
Okay.
I don't have like strength at all at my left leg. I do have a little in my right leg. So yes,
Yeah. So what category does that put you in for WheelWOD?
I'm in seated with hip function.
Okay.
Seated.
And just to tell the audience, how many times have you won that category?
The WheelWOD Games 5
Oh,
times.
5? Just 5?
Just 5.
That's
I'm coming for the
amazing.
6.
Going for 6 in 5
Hopefully,
weeks.
yes.
There we
Yeah.
go. Wow. Wow. That's amazing. So you've been at this CrossFit thing for quite some time, and succeeding for quite some time.
Yeah.
When did you discover CrossFit?
When I started with all this process after my first surgeries that I got my disability and everything, I tried like to keep doing triathlon like in a different way. At the beginning, I started doing like in, I don't know how to say these relevos, in like I used to swim and another person do the bike and another
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what you would call that
relays.
either. Relays. Okay, yeah,
Relays.
a relay. Yeah.
So I started like swimming, and then I thought it was like very frustrating. So I thought that I need to change completely my sport. But at the beginning, the doctor told me, Amalia, your sports career is over. You need to understand that you can't do this anymore. Your body is changing a lot, and this is over. So I was like 2 years, like just
Mm-hmm.
physical therapy and everything. But I started like to feel very sad, and I was angry, and I was like, this is not fair. I want to do what
Mm.
I love, that is sports. I need to find something that I can do again. And to compete, because I love competing. That's why I do sports. So after 2 years of physical therapy, my therapist came one day, and I was very, very, very mad that day. And she told me, okay, Amalia, I'm going to let you do CrossFit. And I
Mm.
was like, what? You know what is CrossFit? And she was like, I just talked with a coach that I know, and he already knows everything about you. I would let you do CrossFit if you do it with that coach.
Mm.
So
Okay.
I called him and I scheduled a class, but then I canceled it because I was very scared. And that happened like for 5 times. And at the last time that I canceled the class, he told me, Amalia, you have to come today to train. So I went that day, but I didn't know that adaptive CrossFit existed. So
Okay.
I did the class. I went at that time, I only use crutches because my condition is progressive.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, I only use crutches. So I get to the class, I sit in a bench, and I get like my dumbbells and start doing some things, and other things I couldn't do them. So I said, like, this is like the most horrible thing I've done. This
Yeah. Yeah.
very, I don't know, I don't like it. I was used to train like 6 hours or 4 hours per day because of
Mm-hmm.
triathlon, So I went to the class and it was like very short class, and I said like, I don't like this. But that was the only thing that I was able to do because of the permission that I had because of my physical therapist. So
Yeah.
I tried that like for some time. And one day I saw that it existed, like adaptive CrossFit was one possibility. So I started like talking to people and asking everything and following WheelWOD and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then with my coach, we sent like all the medical exams and medical things. And they told me like, okay, you can try it. And because of your condition, you will be in seated. At that time, when I started, it was just upper, lower, and seated.
Okay.
So they told me you're going to be in seated
Yeah.
division.
And at that point, were you using a wheelchair or were you still using crutches?
I use a wheelchair, but not like for all day,
Mm-hmm.
just like for some things. So, in fact, that the wheelchair that I had at that time wasn't like a good one for competing or
Yeah.
for training CrossFit. So, after a little time, when I said, okay, I want to try like competition. The first thing that I did was to get a wheelchair that was like more adequate for doing sports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So you got a performance chair or whatever those.
Yes. Now I
Okay.
have a performance.
Yeah. So you started competing then in 2019. And was that the first year you competed and won?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. And so you get this, I mean, that's 4 years after this life-changing life-changing diagnosis, this life-changing news from a doctor that's like, hey, you got to stop doing sports. And you're like, absolutely not. I've been doing this my whole life. So what was that? And we talked a little bit about it, but like, what was that experience like when you were having to figure out what it looked like to be athletic when you were kind of going through the valley of kind of figuring out, okay, what does it mean to be athletic? And then arriving maybe in some ways on a mountaintop of kind of winning something competitive. What was that journey like for you of kind of going from the high of, okay, I'm an athlete, to the low of I'm injured and a doctor's telling me, I don't know if I can do this stuff anymore, to finding your way to now getting to compete in a new way?
Yeah. At the beginning, it was like one day I get to the doctor and I told him, I need to do sports. I need to do something. And he told me, no, you have to understand that this is over. This is like you need to understand the serious of your condition, he told me. And I told him, okay, but I need to do sports or I need medicine because I'm gonna get crazy. I'm like very depressed. I'm not feeling good at all. I'm just crying all day. All the things that sports make in your head. I didn't have that. So I told him, you're changing my life completely. And you're just like thinking I'm gonna be okay. This is not true. So I get into a process that it was very difficult for me. I get very depressed. I get like I don't know how I keep going in my life like for 1.5 years because I just was mad at everything. I didn't understand what was happening. I didn't understand why he didn't let me to do what I really loved. And I also didn't understand at that time like the severity of my condition. When he told me that he had to do my first surgery, when he told me, I said, okay, in 4 months, I have my first Ironman. So I'm going to recover and I'm going to be racing my first Ironman, not knowing at all that I was going to get out of that surgery having a disability.
Yeah.
So it was very hard for me like to understand and like to see all my friends and family, because my husband at that time, he also was going to make the Ironman. So I was like very mad at everybody because I just saw them like keep training and everything, and I was just like in my process of not understanding what was happening, being like mad at everything. So when I get the possibility of like do another sport again, because I said, okay, I need to change completely what I'm doing. I can't do triathlon anymore because it's like very frustrating. Like for me, I started like trying just to swim, and then I said, no, I need to change completely. And my physical therapist, she was the one that told me.
Yeah.
So when I discovered, or when I saw that there was adaptive CrossFit, and then I can compete in that, it was like, okay, but is it gonna be that I'm gonna love competition as I did before?
Yeah.
So I did my first competition. It was the Open, but we didn't know anything. We didn't know if my coach could touch my chair, if he can give me the weights. We didn't know anything. So we did like the first workout, and it was like, okay, I think I like this. And then we did the whole Open, and I got like a spot for the WheelWOD Games. And I was like, oh my God, what just happened? Like, I love this feeling again,
Yeah.
of competition, of the rush, of all the adrenaline and everything.
Of the qualifying, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if I was ready to compete at that time, because I had like just like some months of getting back to training and
Yeah.
everything. But when I get to the WheelWOD Games at that time, I just was like, okay, I'm gonna see if I like enjoy competing again and everything. But when I did the first workout, it was like, oh my God, this is me again. I need to do this again.
Yeah. That's
So,
so
all
cool.
that competition and everything, the rush and everything, like, was again present with all the energy that exists. So I said, okay, this is what I love. I need to do this, and I just keep going. But in that competition, it was like very challenging, because the workout number 8, I remember that very good. It was a workout of running in the chair and then rowing and then running again.
Mm.
And the wheelchair that I had was very little for me at that moment, the one that I was able to get for that competition. So all the girls started like running very fast, and I started like being back, 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 like, and so it was like very frustrating for me because I'm very competitive. So that time I remember that one of the judges get to my coach, and he told him like, touch her chair, and she's gonna be disqualified. It's over.
Yeah.
Don't push her anymore, because all the other girls just finished the workout like 25 minutes ago. So it was like I started crying, and I said like, don't touch my chair. So I went to the hotel, and that day I started thinking, and I said, I'm not here. Oh, I have not been like in all this process like to give up right now. I'm going to do this because this is what I love, and I want to see if I can enjoy again the competition, and if I can become an athlete again.
Yeah.
And from that day, my mentality changed, and I just started like to enjoying a lot more that, and being like very grateful with life and with God that I was able to do that again, that I love so much. And after that, I was able like to win my first competition.
Yeah. Yeah. You got that mindset locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's so many athletes listening to this right now who had an accident and were athletic before that. And they were like not doing CrossFit. Some of them were, but some of them weren't. And they're like, oh no, am I going to enjoy this CrossFit thing as much as I enjoyed, like you, a triathlon where you're actually getting to like move, right? Like cover distance. I feel like that's one thing that CrossFit doesn't do a great job of is covering distances, right? Like it's just stand in one place and lift a barbell and move 3 feet and then do some push-ups or, whatever the movement is, right?
Mhm.
And so you're right though. Are you going to enjoy that sport? And that's so cool that you found out that you did, and yet it still took mindset work, right? To tell yourself, I can do this and I want to do this and I belong. That's so cool. So I want to talk. You've got five gold medals under your belt, right? 5 gold medals. Okay. But outside of CrossFit, there's so much more to you too. And so we were talking about this a little bit. So we're just going to hit a couple of things. So you have an interior design company.
Yes.
Yes. And so what's that like? What's a couple of the cool things you've gotten to do with that? And then I'm curious if you have any interior design recommendations for the local CrossFit gyms.
Okay. Yes, I'm an interior designer. I have my own company and I do a lot of works, hotel, residence, and commercial. I really love like working in interior design. My favorite part of the process is like designing.
Mm-hmm.
I also
making
do
the
like
mood board.
Yeah, all that, making the renders and the 3D and that's what I love the most. And at the end of the project, like seeing the face of my clients like happy because in certain way, I help them like to have a better life, like live happier in their house and everything. So that's very cool. Um, when I get to the gym, I always see like all the things that I could do different and and I have done like some recommendations, but at the end of the day it's like something that I try like to separate like my training part and like my career because at the gyms everybody goes and get the bars and leave them wherever they want and get the ball and leave them, so it's like I better don't see what people is doing.
But don't you think that wall over there could use a pop of color?
Yeah. I've sent that they have made like some changes and I like, this could be like a good flooring for this surface. Or
yes.
it could be like, we can put like a target with this color here for the wall balls and everything. So they do some things, but they don't do a lot.
I love that. Okay. And then something else you've been doing is motivational speaking.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's that journey been like?
I love that journey. It was, in fact, something that I didn't expect at all. And after my first competition that I won, I get to Costa Rica and a guy called me and he said like, hey, Amalia, here we have an activity for Women's Day that in Costa Rica it's celebrated in August 15. So they said like, we have like 4 speakers. We want you to be one of the 4. And I said like, okay, what do you want me like to tell? And he said like, we want you to tell your story. And I said like, what does my story have interesting? And he said like, we want you to tell your story. So I went to that activity. We have we had like 15 minutes. It was a storytelling, a little time. So I was able like to tell my story, and at the same time I was able like to speak for the first time of all the process that I had and all that I go through, the feelings and all the process. So for me it was like something magical that happened, and for the audience it was like very beautiful. We connect a lot, people cried, I cried too, so it was like very beautiful. And when I get down from the stage, the guy that called me, he said, what, Amalia, what have you just done? And I said, what? And he said, your story is very powerful. You need to tell this to more people. So I was like, really? And then somebody that hears me that day calls me to see if I can go to his company. So I did my speech in that company, and then in another, and in another, and in another. And now I have it's been like 6 years that I've been doing that, different occasions, and I really love it. It's like very beautiful to be able to give a message or to teach something to people and to help them to also achieve their goals and their dreams, and like to just be able to help another person. Like, we all have problems and we all have different situations, and sometimes we don't talk about that because we think like it's just me that is going through that. And listening to another person that is going through something similar sometimes can open your heart and can open you to talk and to make the process better. So it's very beautiful, like to go talk about your story, and then having someone to get to you and said like, thank you for helping me, I'm going through this process, and just listening at you makes me don't want to quit. And it's like very beautiful.
Yeah. What are some of the stories that you've heard from people? I know you shared a couple about some kids who were impacted by your story.
Yes, I love like giving my story to kids, and I've been like in different schools. One time I was in a kindergarten, and there was a 3-year-old kid that he came and he said, "Teacher, I want a car, the car that you have, my wheelchair." And I said, "Really? Why do you want it?" And he told me, "Because that makes you a superhero." So I know, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And there was another girl that her mother called me, and she said like, my daughter, she had to talk about an athlete in her school and she chose you. So look what she did. And she got a chair from her classroom, and she put like 2 wheels in each, like 1 wheel in each side, like to make the wheelchair that I use. And she painted like in purple, like just like mine. And she was wearing like my clothes and the ponytail and everything. And her presentation was, "My name is Amalia. I'm a world champion." So it's like, oh my God, I didn't even know the kids know who I am. And they are like making their school speeches about me.
We could all hope. That would be
Yes.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's another kind of people, like older people, that writes me in my social media, that they say like, "Amalia, you don't know me, but I've been following you 6 months ago, and I'm diabetic and I have hypertension, and the doctor told me that I need to make a change. And since I follow you, I started going to the gym because you inspire me every day. Now I have lost 30 pounds and I've become better and I'm healthier. Thank you for saving my life."
Yeah. Wow.
And I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that I was like causing that in people, And that was something very cool that happened just after I won my first championship, or my first WheelWOD Games. That at the beginning I said, this is because I love it. I'm going to keep doing this because I love it. But here in Costa Rica, it was like a very big movement. I get into newsletters and into TV shows and everything. So a lot of people like started knowing about that I won and what I was doing and my story and everything. So it was very beautiful because a lot of people just started following me and talking to me like if we are friends, and they tell me like, "Please help me with this, please keep sharing your story, please keep doing this and this and it." So it's very beautiful because you are helping more people than you could ever imagine.
Yeah, and you're growing the sport too. I mean, how many Costa Rican adaptive athletes are going to the games this year?
3.
Yeah, and how many signed up for the Open?
8.
Yeah, and so you could say that, I mean, it's so cool that you're doing the advocacy work to grow the sport in Costa Rica.
Yes. Yes, at the beginning I started just me. As I told you, I didn't even know what we need to do or what we should do in competition. And seeing that I have opened the door for another adaptive athletes, like to have things a little bit easier, because one of the things that I've tried here in Costa Rica is like to do competitions with able-bodied people and asking them like make the minimum adaptations for me so that people can see that we are the same, that we can compete at the same competition floor, that we can do exactly the same things. That is that's helped a lot to open like the way for another adaptive athletes. Like they now they have like the road a little bit easier, like to get there, and to
Mm-hmm.
see that because of me, and other athletes are starting their journey, are like, competing now. They are going to the games, we're
Yeah.
growing. It's like very beautiful because there you can say, okay, I think that I'm doing a good work and I'm leaving something to this world. I think
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
if you can do something for the world to get better, I think that's cool. And this has been like a lot more than that. So it's very beautiful to see all that.
Well, and that also connects to the conversation we were having about faith a little bit and the role that that plays in your life, right? Can you tell me a little bit about that? Maybe how you've wrestled with it a little bit, but then you've kind of seen how God is at work sometimes and what's going on.
Yes, in this process, I've had like a lot of different parts with the faith, let's say. There have been moments when I was like very mad at God, at the beginning or when I have like a very, like, I don't know how you say it in English, but in Spanish we call it like a brote, when the illness like makes a pop and something
Mm.
else happens, appears.
Yeah, yeah, we would call it like a in MS they call it a flare up.
Aha, that's
Yeah.
right. So at that moment, I get like very mad at God. Why is this happening? Please stop. I'm tired of this. Or with every surgery that I've had in this process, it's like I don't want this anymore. I'm having a
Mm-hmm.
lot of pain, everything. But at the end of all, God is always present. So he is the one that makes me keep going. Is the one that I like. He's like my best friend. He's the one that I talk to every day and ask him like for guidance and ask for him like to keep me going in this journey and to keep me doing things good to help more people. And every time I compete or every time that I have like an event, I talk to God and I pray, and I always said like, please, let's make this good and let's have a good competition so that I can help with my example more
Mm-hmm.
people and like open the opportunities for more people. So at the end of all, we can get mad with him and everything, but he's everything, for my life. I think that I couldn't be where I am right
Mm-hmm.
now if he wouldn't be present every time in my life. So he's very important,
Yeah.
and he's been a very important part of my process too.
Well, and it sounds like you've reframed your prayers to be prayers that are praying for that you would be able to be an example for other
Yeah,
people. And I
yeah,
think that's really beautiful. It's something that able-bodied people, sure, they pray that sometimes for their attitude or for maybe the way they speak to other people. But I think sometimes for adaptives, it's literally like the way I move my body. I hope that could be an example for someone
yeah.
else that they belong and that they could be a part of this community.
Yes, yes, and I think that mm, that's what is important, like to be able to help more people is like at the end what make you like keep going in this. So I'm always thankful with him because and everything that happens, I always say like, okay, this is happening for a reason, right? So I'm gonna trust in his journey and in his why is this happening.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, I know that it hasn't been easy for me, but it helps so many people that at the end you really understand why you're going through this.
Yeah.
Maybe your mission in this life is to help another people through your journey. So someone has to to like to have the process like to help on other people. And I think that's part of my mission. Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I hope you work that into one of your motivational speeches at some point. I think that's beautiful that we're on a journey, and our journey is to help somebody else.
Yeah.
Is on theirs.
Totally.
Amalia, in shortly after the WheelWOD Games this year, you're going to go and do another competition. What are you training for next? What's this next thing you're doing?
I just started training for parathletics. I'm just doing like discus and javelin throw. So after the WheelWOD Games, I just got the news on last Friday that I'm going to the Parathletics World Championship in India.
And this is like right after WheelWOD?
Yeah, it's on September 29.
Oh my gosh. You're going to get those airline miles in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what's the ultimate goal here?
I just have 5 months training this. Okay. So my goal is like to have a better mark for this time. I'm trying like to a javelin. I'm going to try to get like 15 meters and this is to 19 meters. That's like the goal that I have for now. And the other goal is like to get to LA 2028.
That would be awesome. That would be amazing. I know there's a ton of adaptive athletes in LA and in the California area who would love to cheer you on if you're there.
That's going to be cool.
When you do Paralympic javelin and discus, I assume it's strict, right? Like you don't move at all in your chair. I mean, you just lean back and throw the discus?
Yes. We use a special chair and we have like a pole that I can hold here. And I don't have like rotation in my back because of all my surgeries and all my disease and everything. So I do it like very strict. It's just like my hand throwing and the discus is like my hand at the side and then throwing to the side.
Yeah. Wow. So a lot of strict strength. So CrossFit probably helps a lot in getting stronger at those movements.
Yes. I have to like to train a lot more, like being like explosive because CrossFit is not so explosive. CrossFit is like lifting heavy weights.
Yes.
But it helps a lot with the strength. Yes.
Awesome. That's exciting. We'll be cheering you on.
Thank you.
Do you have time for a lightning round?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. All right. So you mentioned a workout 8 in 2019 or whenever, but what is your favorite CrossFit Games workout that you've ever had a chance to do?
I love cheapers.
Okay.
So I don't remember like one exactly, but anything that is a cheaper, I love it.
Just chipping away at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. When you're getting ready for that workout, what is your go-to snack?
Gummies.
Okay. That seems to be really popular. I am not a gummies fan, although I remember there were a lot of athletes that would do like Sour Patch Kids and that kind of stuff. I don't know. That was never my cup of tea.
And then in Costa Rica, we didn't have like a lot of gummies. So going to the US and having like a lot, it's like, I never know what to buy, but I just want like all of them.
All of them. I love it. What are you obsessed with right now?
Oh my God, I don't know.
It can't be training. It can't be CrossFit.
This Legos.
Oh, Lego plants. Oh my gosh, my kids love those. I love that. We've got a couple of those around the house.
Really?
Yeah. My 7-year-old likes making them. So I'm not saying that Legos are a kid's thing. I also, enjoy doing Legos as well.
Every age. So.
Yeah. And the flower ones are so beautiful. Totally. And like you only have to water them like once a month.
Yes.
They're awesome. What's the last book you read?
Champion's Mind.
Okay. Getting some mindset work in. Okay. Is it a novel or is it more of just a
No, it's like tools that they give you like to be like have mental strength.
Okay. The CrossFit Games just finished. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Did you predict that podium?
The girls, yes. Boys, no.
Yeah. I'm excited for the men's competition going forward. That was all very surprising.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. We won't give any spoilers in case, I mean, by the time this goes out, if you haven't seen the CrossFit Games, you missed it. So congrats to Jason Hopper and Tia Claire Toomey, because that was super cool. What was your favorite event from the CrossFit Games though, that just happened? So the last 3 days.
I love the one of the double unders and that one.
Yeah. The crossovers.
Yeah.
And then the increasing weight squat cleans, right?
Uh-huh. Oh, well, and I love the one of the back squat.
Oh yeah. That was cool.
The ways that they move is like, what?
Yes. And then when they would bail the bar sometimes like over their heads and you're like, whoa.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. And then my favorite question in the lightning round. If you have control of Spotify, what are we listening to when we're working out?
I don't know if you know the songs that I'm going to say.
But I will find them on Spotify.
It's like perreo. That's how we call it in Costa Rica. It's like reggaeton.
Okay. So perreo, P-E-R-I-L-L-O?
P-E-R-R-E-O.
Okay. P-E-R-R-E-O. Okay, gotcha. Awesome. We're going to look those up. We're going to have some fun. That's awesome. Cool. And so it's just like a style of music, put on the playlist and go to town?
Yeah, it's like reggaeton, heavy reggaeton, so like punches.
Oh yeah. I know what we're getting into. I can't wait. That's going to be good. Okay, cool. I've got 2 final questions for you as we wrap up. All right. Okay. So if there's somebody listening to this podcast and they maybe found you on Instagram and they have questions about adaptive CrossFit, what would you tell them to get started?
To contact WheelWOD first, they can have like a category and they can start like knowing where to start, and then like looking for another and adaptive athletes, maybe like to have the inspiration that they need, like to know what's the sport about.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then final question, if you could go back and encourage a younger version of yourself, maybe you in 2015, right after that accident, or that surgery, what would you tell her to encourage her?
I would tell her that great things are coming, and that never give up, and it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it totally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's so true. Amalia, it has been wonderful getting to know you and having this conversation tonight.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us for this episode of the podcast. There were a couple of themes in Amalia's story that I'm sure a lot of our listeners can relate to. One of them is when that doctor told her, you should probably just stop doing sports. This is probably not good for you. As many of us know, it was actually going against the advice of some doctors that led us to lifting weights and trying CrossFit and other competitive athletic endeavors. And I thought that was really amazing that part of her story was just deciding to go for it anyways. And another part of her story is wanting to do inspirational speaking. And just a couple of weeks ago, Amalia had the opportunity to give a TED Talk in Costa Rica, and you can find that on her Instagram page. Go ahead and follow Amalia. Her link to her Instagram page will be in the show notes. And you can also follow us on Instagram at The Adaptive Athlete Pod. Like our episodes, share them with friends, and leave a review. I'm Matt Hotho, and I'll catch you next time.